Have you noticed that someone you care deeply about has been exhibiting subtle, yet concerning changes over the past several months? It's not uncommon for people to assume that death in old age happens unexpectedly, but the reality is often much more complex. In fact, the human body tends to send quiet, subtle warnings well in advance, sometimes up to a year before life reaches its final stage. Unfortunately, many of us overlook these early signs because they seem so minor at first, and it's only in hindsight that families realize these were the telltale clues all along. But by then, it's often too late to prepare, to make those final moments count, or to cherish the time left. In this video, we're going to discuss 5 key signs that commonly show up a year before an elderly person passes away. Some of these might be changes you've already observed but brushed off as simple signs of aging. Others might appear so insignificant that you wouldn't think they could indicate something more serious. However, recognizing these subtle signs early can be incredibly helpful. It gives you the opportunity to provide better care, to create meaningful memories, and perhaps most importantly, it allows you to ensure that your loved one's last stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. Stick with us till the end, because understanding these 5 signs can be an essential tool to help you emotionally and practically prepare for what lies ahead. Once you recognize what's happening, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be able to make the most of the precious time left with your loved ones. Let's dive into these signs now and explore them in more detail. 1. Significant weight loss. One of the first and most telling signs that someone might be approaching the final year of their life is unintended weight loss. At first, you may notice small changes, perhaps a belt that now feels looser, clothes that no longer fit as snugly, or a once hearty appetite that starts to fade away. It's tempting to dismiss these as just part of aging, but the truth is that unintentional weight loss is rarely a benign issue. It usually signals that the body is no longer absorbing nutrients as efficiently as before. Muscle mass tends to decrease, and essential bodily functions begin to slow down. While some muscle loss is a normal part of aging, if this happens rapidly or dramatically, it suggests something deeper is going on. The body may struggle to digest food properly, or the individual might have difficulty processing protein, leading to muscle wasting. This gradual loss of strength doesn't just make movement harder. It also significantly increases the risk of falls, weakens the immune system, and leaves the person more vulnerable to infections. Another possible cause of weight loss in the elderly is a change in appetite. As the body prepares for its final stages, many seniors simply stop feeling hungry in the way they once did. Their sense of taste diminishes, food no longer seems enjoyable, and they may skip meals or eat far smaller portions. This isn't just about preference. It's a physical change indicating that the body is signaling that it's beginning to shut down, so it no longer craves food as it used to. The result? Less energy, reduced strength, and a gradual overall decline in health. In some cases, underlying medical conditions such as cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease can also contribute to weight loss. These conditions often advance silently, progressing long before more obvious symptoms appear. Even mental health challenges like depression or cognitive decline can lead to reduced appetite, making it even more difficult for the body to get the nutrients it needs to sustain itself. If your loved one is eating less, feeling weaker, or struggling to stay active, it's time to pay attention. This isn't simply about physical appearance. It's a message from the body. Recognizing that message early can help you prepare for what lies ahead with more understanding and compassion, and enable you to make every remaining moment meaningful. 2. Extreme fatigue and weakness. As we get older, it's normal to feel tired after a long day or strenuous activity. However, one of the most noticeable changes that often precedes the final year of life is an overwhelming, persistent fatigue that doesn't go away, even with plenty of rest. This isn't your everyday tiredness. It's a deep, profound exhaustion that makes even the simplest tasks feel monumental. For elderly individuals nearing the end of their life, basic activities like getting out of bed, walking across the room, or even holding a conversation become exhausting. What once felt like normal routines like cooking or dressing now seem too demanding. This is not just part of aging. It's the body's way of conserving its remaining energy as the organs start to slow down. As organ function declines, circulation weakens, and muscles are deprived of the oxygen and nutrients they once received. This results in weakness, making it more difficult for the individual to stay active or even engaged. At the same time, metabolic slowdown redirects the body's energy from movement to preservation. The result? Seniors may sleep more, take longer naps, or struggle to stay awake for long periods. Some may even have sudden energy drops, where they seem fine one moment only to feel drained the next. The emotional impact of fatigue is often just as significant. Many seniors who once took pride in their independence can feel frustrated or embarrassed when they can no longer do what they once did. This can lead to withdrawal from social interactions, as they may feel too drained to participate. For family members, it's heartbreaking to watch a loved one go from active and engaged to exhausted and withdrawn. If you notice that your loved one is experiencing ongoing fatigue, even with plenty of rest, take it as a sign that their body is transitioning. In this stage, it's important to focus on offering comfort and reassurance, allowing them to rest as needed, and creating peaceful, meaningful moments together without expectations. After all, what matters most isn't how much they can do, it's that they feel loved, understood, and at peace. 3. Cognitive confusion and withdrawal. As a person nears the end of life, you might begin to notice changes in how they think, communicate, and interact with others. One of the most significant signs is cognitive confusion. This can show up in many forms. Perhaps they forget things more often, struggle to follow conversations, or seem disoriented even in familiar settings. They may repeat themselves, forget names, or lose track of time. If they never had memory issues before, these changes might seem out of place. These cognitive shifts are often the result of the brain's reduced circulation and oxygen supply as the body prepares for its final stages. The brain requires a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to function properly, but as circulation weakens, cognitive function begins to deteriorate. This can cause confusion, difficulty making decisions, or even trouble recognizing familiar faces or places. Another important sign to watch for is emotional withdrawal. A person nearing the end of life often loses interest in social interactions. They might speak less, engage less, or spend long periods sitting in silence. This is not because they don't care about their loved ones, but because the brain no longer processes emotions in the same way. Conversations become tiring, loud environments can feel overwhelming, and many seniors retreat into their own world. For family members, watching a loved one pull away emotionally can be devastating. It may feel like you're losing them before they're actually gone, but it's essential to understand that this behavior is a result of their physical decline. The best thing you can do is meet them where they are. Speak gently, offer comfort, and understand that even when they don't always respond, they can still feel your presence. 5th, frequent infections and slow healing. As the body approaches its final stages, the immune system becomes significantly weaker. You may notice that your loved one, who rarely used to get sick, now seems to catch every cold, flu, or minor infection that goes around. What used to be minor illnesses now take much longer to recover from, and even small cuts, bruises, or scratches may heal at a much slower rate. This weakening of the immune system makes the body less able to defend itself. Infections like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, and skin infections become more frequent and recovery takes longer. Sometimes antibiotics that used to work quickly may not be as effective, requiring stronger medications or multiple rounds of treatment. Small wounds, especially in those who are less mobile, become more problematic and can lead to serious infections if not carefully managed. Additionally, infections in the final stage of life may not always show typical symptoms like a fever. Instead, they may present as increased confusion, more fatigue, or a lack of interest in eating. If you notice frequent infections or slow healing, it's essential to recognize that the body's losing its ability to fight off these illnesses. As difficult as it may be, it's often at this point that the focus should shift from aggressive treatments to providing comfort and care. 5. Major changes in breathing and circulation. Finally, one of the clearest and most telling signs that the body is nearing its final stage is noticeable changes in breathing patterns and circulation. You may observe that your loved one is breathing more slowly or shallowly than usual, and occasionally they may pause between breaths or experience irregular breathing. As circulation weakens, the extremities like hands, feet, and even the nose may become cold to the touch, and the skin might appear pale, bluish, or mottled. This occurs because the body is prioritizing blood flow to vital organs, reducing circulation to the limbs. Some people may also experience shortness of breath even with minimal exertion. Sitting up, talking, or simply shifting position may make them feel winded or out of breath. If you notice these changes in breathing or circulation, it's essential to recognize that this is part of the natural process of the body slowing down. Final thoughts. As we've discussed today, significant weight loss, extreme care, and emotional support, making sure your loved one's final phase of life is filled with compassion, comfort, and dignity. It's about acknowledging the journey they are on and providing the best possible environment for them during this time. As we've discussed, the changes in the body leading up to the final stages of life can sometimes be subtle and easily overlooked. But when you recognize the signs early on, you gain the ability to take a proactive approach in managing their care. Whether it's the weight loss, the extreme fatigue, cognitive decline, the frequent infections, or the changes in breathing and circulation, each of these signs offers an opportunity to adjust the way you care for your loved one. It's not about fighting against these changes, but about making the remaining time meaningful and peaceful. In many cases, the physical signs are beyond our control, and trying to reverse them is not always possible. Instead, providing comfort, listening with empathy, and adjusting to their needs can make all the difference. When someone is in their final stages, their world might start shrinking, but it's our job to make that world feel as safe, loving, and familiar as possible. Your support, patience, and understanding during this time will be remembered, even if they can't express it. Sometimes, the most important thing we can offer is simply our presence, quiet, gentle, and reassuring. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage you to take what we've discussed today and reflect on the importance of these signs. Being prepared emotionally and practically for the final stage can help you make the most of the time you have with your loved ones. If you're still watching, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please feel free to share your experiences or any additional insights that might help others facing a similar situation. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, now is a great time to do so. By subscribing and turning on the notifications bell, you can stay informed and continue receiving helpful content that will support you through life's important moments. We appreciate you watching today and allowing us to be part of your journey. Thank you for joining us, and take care of yourself and those you love. Stay tuned for more helpful videos. Until next time, remember, it's not about how much time we have, but how we use that time. Stay present, stay compassionate, and cherish every moment you have with your loved ones. Take care.